If your business produces a consumer product, you surely need to produce that product in a large number. What you need is a good manufacturing facility. So here are the 12 steps you need to follow in order to have a good manufacturing facility. Step 1. Determine what to produce. An usual saying that you need to listen to the customer to know what product should be produced. However, consumers are not always aware of alternative products, so do your research carefully. Step 2. Determine the production rate. That means how many units per unit of time. For example, you want your factory to produce 1000 cakes per 8-hour shift, or 2.083 cakes per minute. This is called production rate. You need to be careful because a higher production rate can lead to decrease in quality. Step 3. Determine what part of the product should be made and what part you have to buy. The make or buy decision should be based on what is more cost effective. Reasons to buy include a lack of in-house experts, small volumes, or the part is not critical in the product. Reasons to make include fulfilling production capacity, better quality control, or technology secrets. Some factories buy out all parts and they are called assembly plants. Those parts making in-house require more management, equipment, human resource, and design work. Step 4. Determine how each part will be fabricated. This is called process planning. In this step, you study the feature of every part to find out what type of workstation needed. Then you can select the machines for each workstation. Determine a rough sequence of operations to create the feature. Select the tools for each operation. Try to group the parts that have similar features so that you can use the same tools for several operations if it is possible. Step 5. You have to set time standard. Every process step could be done in a certain amount of time. Time standard is the time required for a workstation to finish its step, providing it has a well-trained operator working at a normal pace. In order to set a correct standard, it is best to directly measure that step with a stopwatch and with different operators. Step 6. Determine the takt time. Takt time is the rate the customer uses the product, which leads to the rate of the plant to catch up with the customer demand. It is calculated by dividing the available work time by the customer demand. For example, a manufacturer needs to produce 3,000 shirts for a week. Each week is 5 working days. Each day is one 7.5-hour shift. So the total working time is 135,000 seconds. That means one shirt needs to be produced every 45 seconds. This is your takt time. Step 7. Determine how many machines needed. Once you know the takt time and the time standard for each operation, divide the time standard by the takt time. Will give you the number of machines. For example, you have printing machine with a time standard of 120 seconds per printing. The customer demands a takt time of 70 seconds per printing. How many printers are needed? 120 divided by 70 equals 1.7. You will need to purchase 2 printing machines to meet the demand. The question of how many machines you should buy can be answered only when you know 2 factors. First, which machine runs what parts? Second, is the machine runs more effectively than workers? That means consider a certain step. Thus, using the machine can be produced better quality, faster and cheaper units than hiring a worker. Although the initial investment is high, most of the time, machine can produce more consistent results than human. But sometimes humans still can be in God mode. Look at this guy. Step 8. Line balancing. This is dividing work among assemblers to the production rate. You need to keep everyone as close to the same amount of work as possible. In this example, the second step of the process takes too much time, creating a bottleneck of the plant. Both of the previous steps and the step that follow have to wait and limit the output of the whole plant. There will always be a workstation that has more work than the others, and you need to balance the work. Now this sounds easy in theory, but in reality, line balancing is difficult when you have different processes connect together. Step 9. Study the material flows. Material travels according to the sequence of operations specified on the route. So you should analyze the material flow in the most effective arrangement of machines, facilities, workstations, and departments. This is not only true for product flows, but for information flow as well. You can use this flow to place the service facilities conveniently for the employees and optimize the infrastructure by studying the material flow patterns to establish the shortest distance flow possible. Now you can have enough information to get to step 10, the layout. Determine activity relationships. How close do departments need to be each other to minimize people and material movement? You can use simulation software like Autodesk Factory to make the job easier. Layout each workstation. These layouts will lead to department layouts and then to facility-wide layout. Identify needs for personnel and plant services and provide the space needed. Finally, identify office needed and layout as necessary. Step 11. Select material supporting equipment. Facility planner should use an organized approach in determining equipment needs, following the flow of material from the receipt of material to the warehousing. Generally, there are 6 sections: receiving and shipping, storage, fabrication, assembly and paint, packaging, and warehousing. Material handling devices should be used in as many areas as possible, and that everything should work together. Final step is developing a plot plan and the building shape. How will the facility fit on the property? Construct a master plan, collect all the data and the decisions made over the last 11 steps. Seek inputs and adjust accordingly. Take advice and change as needed and review your final plan. There you have it, the 12 steps for building your production facility. Now, it's time to install the layout. The plan will come together and it is one of the most rewarding time as well as one of the most stressful time. No one has started up any production line without some problems. Don't expect you will be the first. You will get better each time, but it will never be perfect. After building your facilities, you can start the production and adjust as needed. Good luck and have fun. If you enjoyed my very first video, please click subscribe to see more content about manufacturing methods and mindset. That's it for today. Signing out and get to work.